Welcome to this week's episode of Biz Success in 15, where top experts share hot tips and strategies that you can implement in as little as 15 minutes to build your dream business. And now here's your host, the Visibility Wiz, Cindy J.
Hi, I'm Cindy J, the Visibility Wiz, and welcome to this episode of Biz Success in 15, where top experts share hot tips and strategies that you can implement in 15 minutes or less to build your business. Today, our guest is Abby Rohrer, and she is a master healer, karma and anxiety expert with her own healing technology and a certified big money business coach. She works with business owners and entrepreneurs to free them from money, sales, and success karma blocks and fears. She teaches people worldwide how to self-heal their karma and anxiety so that they can achieve their dreams and thrive in business and in life. Welcome, Abby. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks so much, Cindy. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. I'm really excited to talk about money karma. But before we start talking about that, can you please describe a personal or business challenge that you had to overcome in order to achieve your level of success?
Sure. So I am one of those people who had huge blocks in terms of visibility and marketing, reaching out, being seen and heard, and getting out there. And I had to break through my own struggles with that, and it took me quite a long time. So for many years, I was hiding behind the scenes, hiding behind my computer, hiding, and doing everything I could do to grow my business, writing books and putting my work out from behind the computer. And so I didn't do interviews for many, many years, didn't do interviews, didn't go out and people or network in person. I was really in hiding. I was one of those people who, when coaches describe the best kept secret, that was me. Mm-hmm. So I could help my clients to grow their businesses and really get out there, but I struggled myself to break through that block, but I finally did it.
Very, very good. Was there a key that helped you overcome those blocks?
Yeah, I basically took my own money karma healing process and turned it on myself relentlessly until I broke through it.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And the first thing that I have to ask you is because you do talk about money karma. So what's your definition of money karma? How is it, and how does it affect our business?
Yeah, so I have a different definition in general of karma. To me, karma are energies that are emotional energies that are stuck to us or that we have not allowed to pass through us. Energies like shame and guilt, unworthiness, all kinds of things that we could have released, but we somehow didn't release. And those energies are stuck to us on on our human personality level, but also on the soul level. And so what I do is I look at those same energies, but through the lens of money and your business, and specifically focus on 5 key areas that entrepreneurs struggle with. Mm-hmm. And those are confidence, influence, meaning owning your expert status, sales, revenue, and visibility. So that to me is really the definition of money karma. What are those energies that are trapped for the business owner in those 5 areas?
Right. And that goes to the 5 that you mentioned. Are those what you would call hidden energies that are causing lack, or is it just plain bad luck?
Well, I think we think it's just plain bad luck, right? Mm-hmm. It feels like bad luck when you're struggling with it. You wonder, am I just stuck in a bad luck thing or attracting bad luck? But it's really these unconscious energies that are blocking our success. And also, there are energies that I haven't mentioned yet, things like money ceilings, receiving ceilings.
What ceilings?
Receiving, like a limit on how much you can receive. And I'm not talking about money as much right here, although it impacts your money, but receiving in terms of receiving love, right? Because in relationships, especially all relationships and our relationships with our customers and prospects, we need to be able to receive every bit as much as we need to be able to give. And if we have a receiving ceiling, we might limit the number of customers that we are energetically able to take in, right, and work with.
Right. I love that. I've never heard it quite that way before, but that's, I've spoken a lot about how people have a hard time receiving compliments, which is the same as receiving love. But combining that with, hey, you're even have the ceiling on how many clients you're allowing yourself to receive. That's really great, because that's really impacting your money and your success if you have that feeling. Mm-hmm. And so what mindset challenges do you carry that do and don't belong to you? Like you mentioned the 5 and even these mindset ceilings and the receiving ceilings. Do they belong to us or do they belong to other people?
Some of the energies belong to other people. And in a second, I'll talk about mindset versus the nervous system and the energies that we're holding on to in the nervous system. But we carry a lot of energies that are not ours. Some of our fears don't belong to us. We think they do. It feels like they do, but they just don't belong to us. Mm-hmm. Some portion, and I can't say, for everyone, but for many, many people, some percentage of the fear that they carry or, even other emotions that they're carrying and resistance don't belong to them.
Right. What are some of the hidden reasons why we do procrastinate on prospecting and promoting and making offers? Why are we sabotaging our own business with these hidden reasons?
Well, so I do talk to people literally about past lives, although I don't go into a lot of story, but I sometimes what is identified to me, and all my work is intuitive, but sometimes what I see are literally past life reasons why parts of us don't want to release shame and guilt and unworthiness so that you in the present can move your business forward. Mm-hmm. Sometimes those parts of us don't want to let go, and that's because they're holding a grievance against themselves. So some part of us on some level is holding a grievance against ourselves, or sometimes it's a wound, a wound from earlier in life, an emotional wound we couldn't get over. Sometimes it's on the level of a really intense trauma that is stopping the person from moving forward. So I see all of those things, and I don't focus on mindset per se because, whereas a lot of people focus on your beliefs and, a lot of things that are very, very focused on the mind, what I'm focused on are the energies that are trapped in our nervous systems. Mm-hmm. See, these soul level energies and the energies that I'm talking about are literally trapped in our nervous systems. Sometimes we feel a lot of those sensations in our bodies. And what I believe is that the will of our mind and the will of our bodies have to be working together so we can move our business forward with ease. And what I have found is that when I clear the energies out of the nervous system, the mind automatically clears. So I don't even have to focus on what the beliefs are. I focus on this, what's happening in the nervous system and clearing that.
And that's very, very interesting. And it's definitely different, which sets you apart. Why can't people seem to shake that icky, nervous feeling inside, even with meditation or medication? And I know myself, I've experienced, just where it's why am I so nervous? From head to toe, I can just feel sometimes, not as much today as what I used to in the past, but just all these, like, I feel like a live wire is going off inside of me. And I used to feel that way a lot when I worked in social services because I didn't like working there. So I'd be driving to work and just from head to toe be feeling this. And I've heard other people describe the same thing, or you can call it an anxiety attack. But why can't we shake this? What is going on in our nervous system that's making us feel this way, and how to shake it? Because, yeah.
Yeah. Well, those sensations are literally trapped energy in your nervous system. And I'm really speaking to you from my firsthand experience. I know that feeling because I've lived it. And all of these challenges that I've faced have further, have pushed me to push my work further and further, and get better and better results. So one thing I know firsthand are where those energies are and how they can be drained out of the nervous system. But they're the same kinds of things. And as well as, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, but some of those anxious energies don't belong to you and can be released, like, probably pretty quickly. Some of them do belong to you. And some of them are from before here and now. But certainly a chunk of those don't belong to you.
It's just that we all have these energies and we can all release them the same way without having to bring more pain onto ourselves.
Right. So when I'm working with someone, what's happening is that I give them as little story, and I get intuitively as little story as is necessary to clear those energies. And so we don't go into a lot of story. I believe that going into the story can be a problem. It can pull you back into that energy. So I go into very, very little story with my clients. Also, I do think that part of the role that I function in or work in is to be a witness for those energies so that the person doesn't have to know about every one of those energies.
And this is why it's even safer for your client, because they're not having to relive all of the anxiety and the fears and the trauma from their pasts.
Right. Yeah. My original work was years and years ago, before the healings came in. I've had the healings since about 2009. But prior to that, I had, it's a little bit of a story I won't go into, but I was teaching my own self-help process, and that required people to go back into the story. And it was based on a healing journey that I had, and I did go back into the stories. And what I discovered was that wasn't the best. Ultimately, what I learned is that it's, in my opinion, better to stay with as little story as necessary to heal something.
And I love that because, with everybody that I've spoken to, and there are different healers out there that really go into the story. And then a lot of law of attraction coaches say, well, it doesn't matter what the story is. You just want to focus on the future and what it is that you want. And I like that you're sort of like in between these things. You're like, well, it is important that these energies are here and we do need to release them, so that we can fully utilize the law of attraction consciously. But we're not going back to our past and harming ourselves further by going back to the past.
Right. And I also believe that this is kind of a missing piece. The work that I do is a missing piece in why those law of attraction principles, why people struggle to actually get them to work for them. It's because of these unconscious energies that need to be cleared out.
Right.
And, so it's really hard to hold that positive thinking in your head when these energies are constantly kind of trying to push you in. They interfere with positive thinking. So if somebody's struggling, like trying to hold those positive thoughts, to use the law of attraction, then this is it's probably one of the reasons why. And once you clear this stuff, you don't have to fight to hold those positive thoughts anymore, because you just do hold them. It's kind of magic that way.
Could you share a strategy that our listeners can implement in 15 minutes or less to build their business?
Yes, I would love to. So one of the things that gets in our way are resistance, right? Energies of resistance. And so let's say, you're supposed to go out and prospect today as a business person. You're supposed to go and find prospects or make sales calls or network, but you just feel like, no, I don't want to do that. So what I want to do is to help. You may not be able to clear it all yourself, but you can clear out energies that are interfering that don't belong to you. So what I suggest is just really fast to check in with yourself and feel the resistance, acknowledge it, and put a number on it, like 0 to 10, right? So 10 would be, this is so intense, it's off the charts. 0 would be, I feel absolute peace, okay? And then ask your spirit, just mentally in your head, ask your spirit to gather up all the energies of whatever this resistance is that don't belong to you and to compress them, okay? It takes maybe 10 to 30 seconds to feel like, okay, that's complete. And the next step is you just gather them up and throw them up to the sky, or you could just kind of move your head like this. What you want to do is send them up to the universe or to the sky or to God with force. So with some force. And then the final step is to say out loud, it is done. Okay? And once you do that, then just take a few breaths and let the energy settle itself. And then fill back into the resistance you originally felt and see if the intensity has changed. A lot of people find with this exercise that, between 20 and 80% of it, or even 100% of it, is now gone. So you can use it all the time. It's a 2-minute thing, and it really works.
I really love that. And I know that you have a wonderful gift for our community. So can you share a little bit about it?
Sure. I offer a money karma diagnosis for entrepreneurs, and I go through, and it's a one-on-one thing. I literally, before the call, I check into their money karma through the lens of those 5 key money areas in their business, and I scan every one of those areas, and then I deliver the report to them on the call, and we talk about it.
Go over those 5 areas again for me.
Sure. So the first one is confidence. The second one is influence. And influence in this case means owning your expert status. And then sales, revenue, and visibility.
Okay. Yes. And so you tap into those, and then you have the call to
let people know what are the energies that are potentially interfering for them, right? Mm-hmm. So you may feel, or they may feel in their business, I feel stuck here, but I don't really know why. Mm-hmm. So what I'm sharing with them these are almost always unconscious energies. So I'm sharing with them what's under all the things that you have thought that were serving you. And the thing is that so often my clients have turned to buy this technique or take that class or this other thing, and they've gone through a whole series of things that they thought would solve the problem, and it hasn't, right? And so what I'm talking to them about are the reasons why none of those things, probably all good programs, or most of them were good programs, why those things didn't work for them are because of these underlying energies. So, maybe stop, trying to, a lot of people think they just need to learn more or they just haven't mastered this thing. But a lot of times what's happening is those unconscious soul level energies and unhealed childhood energies are bleeding into their business and coloring their decisions. And so we need to focus on cleaning up what's inside so that we can really fly in our businesses. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you very much. And to our listeners, you want to head on over to bizsuccessin15.com/Abby, lowercase ABBY, and claim your free 30-minute money karma diagnosis so that you can release whatever's been keeping you stuck and being as successful as you want to be. And Abby, do you have any parting words for our listeners?
Yeah, I think my parting words are that all of these things can be cleared, and stop going after shiny objects that can't solve the problem. So, use this release technique or I should say the release tool that I shared, and really focus on getting these energies cleaned up so that you can really succeed. It can be potentially a very fast process to move yourself forward.
Yes, I love it. Thank you very much for being my guest today, Abby. It's truly been a pleasure.
Thanks so much, Cindy, for having me. I've really enjoyed our talk.
Thank you. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's show, feel free to share it with your friends. And you want to hop on over to bizsuccessin15.com/Abby, where you'll find all the links mentioned on today's show. You can re-listen to Abby's words of wisdom. So if there's anything that you want to re-listen to, if you want to download it so you can listen to it later, you can do that there. You can also catch up on past episodes that you might have missed. While you're there, you want to be sure to grab your free 30-minute money karma diagnosis with Abby, because I'm sure that you'll be glad that you did. With that, big hugs. I hope you have a great week, and be sure to tune in to bizsuccessin15.com next week with another fantastic guest. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Biz Success in 15. For all links mentioned in today's show and to watch or listen to previous episodes, visit bizsuccessin15.com. Thanks so much for listening, and be sure to tune in next week for another amazing guest.